Hello, it's me. No, I'm playing. But I'm a little late tonight, y'all. 3 minutes. I'm sorry, I'm a little late. I was planning to go live on my laptop like I did last time. However, it decided it needed to do an update that would take 30 minutes. So, whoopee. I am on my iPad. And it made me turn it like from the way that I had it to this way. But either way it go, it doesn't matter. Either way it go, we're here now and we're ready to continue our topic since we didn't really get to cover much last week. Watch that previous live video to see what happened last week. Wednesday. So this week we get our full hour. Yay. Let me start off by saying I am Macy Johnson. I am currently the Director of Social Work at a geriatric mental health facility. I am also in school getting a doctorate in social work at the University of, you'll find out in May. But no, I am also licensed at the master's level social worker, licensed master social worker. I have to sit for my exam for my independent clinical license. Not looking forward to it really, but you guys will be along on the journey with me, as I study and prepare for that. So let's see. I feel like I have shared enough about me. If you guys want to know anything else, feel free to ask me in the comments and I will definitely answer, to the best of my ability and comfort level. So tonight we're going to talk about mental health. And when I say mental health, I'm not talking about mental illnesses. I'm saying we're going to talk about mental health. Like, just think about it. There's probably been a time that all of us have told someone that we're okay, we're fine, nothing's wrong, when in fact, there was a lot wrong. The world felt like it was just crashing down on you. There was a lot wrong. But, we just put on our brave face and lace up our boots and keep stepping. That happening all the time, that happening often, it could be a sign that, there's been some strain on your mental health. And I'll define mental health as emotional, psychological, social well-being. That's all encompassing your mental health. This is my bowl. My hand is my bowl. And all of that is in the bowl, okay? Emotions are in the bowl. Psychological state in the bowl. Social well-being in the bowl. All in there. To make mental health. So we know mental illness is not the same thing as mental health. Mental illness is an illness. So illness means issue. It's a mental issue. So mental health is just all encompassing. Mental illness is a mental issue. Okay? There's like a spectrum. That's my laptop coming back on finally. But anyway, there's like a spectrum, you know? Thriving, struggling, crisis. People sometimes think that mental health problems are rare, or like strong people don't struggle. You can think your way out of it. The thinking your way out of it got my name wrote all on it. Got my name wrote all the way on it, honey, in bold letters. Love to try to think my way out of something. But we want to create awareness without being overwhelmed. That's your happy medium. A lot of the common issues. So now we're touching on mental illnesses, mental issues. A lot of the common issues we see today are anxiety, depression. Anxiety, you're so anxious. Sometimes maybe your thoughts are racing, heart is beating fast. Some people will even, have anxiety attacks, different things like that. Anxiety can also look like shutting down. It can look like being like you get so overwhelmed till you do nothing. Depression is a really big one. We know, especially with social media being as big as it is now, depression is skyrocketing. It's a lot of comparing ourselves to other people and their life and what they have going on, instead of finding our own identity and what makes us happy and what we want and how we want to live. We are so busy looking at somebody else's. Like, my generation of children, we played outside. Like, during my time of growing up, that's what you did as kids. You went outside and you played. You used your imagination. You made things up. You made up games. You was creative. It's just what you did. And it was fun. You had fun. And we also got the internet. We were the MySpace people. And little did we know, y'all, we was coding on MySpace. We should have kept that up. But anywho, AI coding for everybody now, so whoopee. But yeah, so my generation, we kind of got that best of both worlds. Whereas now I more so see kids taking to the internet more, looking at other kids play with toys or looking at other people doing an activity that I guess they're interested in, but they are not doing. I would just like to challenge the youth to do it. Those videos that you look at, you could be the one making those videos. Just do it. Do it. If you're interested in that, if you like that, just do it. But what I'm saying is, to get back on topic, because I will go off topic and have a little rant. But to get back on topic, what I'm saying is that social media and depression numbers spiking is linked. There's, been a whole documentary on it. So, it's no secret. It's not brand new news that those things are linked, and the higher usage of social media, the higher number of depressed people we're gonna see. And so it's not something that I foresee stopping anytime soon, because people love social media. It's very addicting and it's also very entertaining. I enjoy social media. We're using social media right now. So hey. Depression, very big one. We all know like what symptoms of depression look like. I just like to kind of give some symptoms in case you are seeing this in somebody. I'm not telling you to try to be telling you this for you to try to be their therapist, but just so that you will notice and pay closer attention at certain questions, inquire about how they're feeling more often, or check in on them, just to make sure everything's okay. And so a lot of times with depression, you may see sleeping a lot. You may see just always tired, canceling plans, don't really want to talk, isolating, leaving you out, not getting out of bed for days, not showering or conducting proper hygiene, not eating or overeating, not sleeping or sleeping all the time, which with depression, a lot of times you'll see sleeping a lot, or sleeping a lot or having a hard time going to sleep is what I see a lot. And then also too, sleeping and waking up. So just those irregular sleep patterns can also be a symptom. Not the only symptom, but a symptom, okay? So don't be out here taking symptoms thinking you can diagnose people. No, there are guidelines and structures to doing these diagnoses. And I really wish that people would be a lot more careful with that, because let's not, label when we don't necessarily know that that's what's going on. Okay. Stress and burnout is a big one. A lot of people are just overworked. And I mean, look at the economy. Nothing is getting cheaper. Everything is just going up and up in price. The cost of living is just steadily rising and wages are not following. So it is very realistic for people to be stressed and burnt out, because whereas people were used to getting by with one job, one income, now they're having to work multiple jobs to make ends meet. Like the money is not going as far as it used to. And so stress and burnout is to be expected to be a common issue. It's just realistic with what is happening in the world. And as you guys know, in social work, we look at the entirety of a person's situation. So their environment, daily and life stressors, their entire development basically is it's holistic. And so you're looking at that person's lifespan. Major things, because obviously you can't know every single thing about somebody unless you just can't, because you can't read people's mind. But you get a good picture of the person if you can learn about their development along the way. You get a good picture, and you can also help them to achieve their goals in that way. That's kind of what you learn how to do whenever you're studying human development. We have HIPSI, so we study human development. Trauma, always a big one. Trauma is always a big one. It's always on the list, because more than likely something traumatic has happened at one time or another in your life. So, and if it haven't, kudos to you. Like, seriously, I mean, not even kudos really, I guess, because I don't know, I don't want to sound like I'm being sarcastic, but like that's great for, like, I love that for you. That's what I want to say. I love that for you, because it's very rare that you will come across a person who hasn't experienced some kind of trauma in their life, some sort of something. So, trauma is one of the common issues, and then loneliness. I was a little surprised by loneliness being on the list, just simply because personally I don't feel lonely a lot, but also too I don't know. I don't really feel lonely. And so but I do hear people a lot of times say they feel lonely. And I'm saying I don't feel lonely because I live alone, like I don't have kids. It's just me. And yeah. So a lot of people like hear that and they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "No, it's awesome. I love it actually." but 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 I guess I could see how, like, once I started thinking about it, I was like, okay, I could see that, especially like coming off of COVID, with people having to like be in the house. Cause dad is always a few years behind. It's not like exactly what's going on right now. And so yeah, with COVID, people having to stay in the house all the time, not being able to go to work, for people who maybe their only source of getting that social interaction was going to work or going to school or something like that, I could see how they would definitely feel lonely, like they probably are deprived socially, or even just very outgoing, extroverted people, I would imagine would feel um would feel, lonely. Like they missed that interaction. Especially if that was the only interaction they were getting. Like I said, I could see that. Y'all, I'm talking a lot, and so my throat was getting dry. But this is a do you call it a carbonated water? It's one of those flavored waters, sparkling water. That's what it is. It's sparkling water. It's coconut pineapple flavor. It's so good. I love pineapple flavored drinks. But anyway, back to our subject at hand, honey. Loneliness, because yeah, it made sense after I started thinking about like COVID and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I can see how that makes sense. And so some signs that you might miss in people experiencing some of those common issues: irritability, right? Maybe they're just aggravated more often than usual. Nothing's happened to them today. They just woke up aggravated. Withdrawal. So like I said, that isolating themselves, not taking your calls, not returning your calls, not responding to your texts, or if you guys send each other, social media stuff or whatever, like them not responding back, that could be a sign that sometimes people miss, because you'll automatically jump to, oh well, they must be mad at me, or they must be feeling some type of way about me, when the whole time it's not even about you. It's not always about you, I promise you. A lot of times, like 9 times out of 10, truthfully, what people have going on supersedes you. Okay, it supersedes you. Like they are dealing with something completely different. It has nothing to do with you. And so stop taking everything so personally. It's not always personal. However, I still stand with, if you don't like it, you don't have to be in that person's life. You always have that option to no longer participate. It's always an option. So it's like, yes, I'm saying whatever they're doing that you may not like could not have anything to do with you and could have everything to do with their mental state. I'm also saying No, you do not have to stick around and deal with that if you do not want to. And that's just the truth of the matter. We all get to decide and cultivate our lives to look and feel the way that we want them to look and feel. And so, because of that, we all have the autonomy to make the best decisions for us, even if that may look or feel bad to somebody else. Exhaustion. So they're just always tired. Like every time you call them, they in the bed. Always in the bed. Can't get out of bed. Every time I'm just tired. Every time you talk to them, that's a sign. Changes in sleep or appetite. Loss of interest or motivation. They don't have the motivation to do anything. All their goals, they let them just fall by the wayside. Excuse me. But yeah, all their goals, they're just letting them fall by the wayside. They have no motivation to complete them. That is a sign. People go through these seasons and they don't know that it's actually, mental health related. They feel like this is just, I just go through this sometimes. It's just something I go through. But sometimes it is a sign that there's an issue there. And it's okay. Because just because something is an issue doesn't mean you can't work on that issue. And I'm not one of those people who believes that growth has an expiration date or an ending point. I feel like for as long as you're living, you're growing. Because the only thing that is inevitable in this life, constant in this life, a sure bet in this life is change. It's always going to happen. Change is always going to occur. If you are a person who doesn't like change, not able to adapt well, not comfortable with growing, it's going to be very, very hard for you because that is constant. It's not going to disappear. It's not going to stop. Since the dawn of time, change has been here. Change ain't going nowhere. It's going to be here. You need to get comfortable with change. Yeah. Fanci said that. Told y'all I go off on a rant, get on a little tangent. But all of those things could be a sign that something's wrong, and it's nothing wrong with something being wrong. We can always, that's what I was saying. Got it. We can always work on the issue. It's an ongoing thing. We're going to work on it until we ain't got to work on it no more. If we don't never got to work on it no more. Because some stuff you're going to work on constantly, all the time, forever maybe. Accept it. It's okay. Work on it. That's all you can do is work on it. Try to be better. Do a little better each time. A little better each time. That's it. That's it. That's all. You just do a little better each time. And that's progress. You're growing. You're working on it. It's no shame in it. Shouldn't feel bad about it. Because we all have areas to grow. We're all constantly growing. Because things are constantly changing. So I know because I've had some people come into the live. I've had someone to like the live, but I haven't had anyone to actually comment. And I'm not surprised because I know this is a topic that can sometimes be uncomfortable. People don't want to discuss it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't like to talk about it. It's very uncomfortable for them. It's not a subject that they want to be brought up. They want to avoid that one. And so I just feel like we have to normalize talking about it, because it's still so many people who really could use therapy, really could use the skills that therapists teach you. And like, they'll refuse the care just because they think that people are gonna feel like something's wrong with them, that they're woo woo. And it's just like, you can't know what you don't know. And so you have to learn it somewhere. Obviously, throughout your lifespan, you haven't learned it. Because if you learned it, you would display it. We would have evidence that you learned it through actions. And therapy is a place where you can learn new skills. That's what you're supposed to be doing in there. I know people think you're just supposed to go in there and vent and dump all your problems on the lady feed and our man feed, the therapist feed. And that's just it. But no, that's not just it. Yeah, you can come in there and do your dumping and say what you gotta say, vent, get everything off your chest. Yes, you can come in there and do that. But you're also there to work on goals that you said you wanted to achieve, that you set for yourself. You're there to work on goals. And you are there to grow. You're there to learn new skills. You're there to learn new ways of thinking about things that maybe you didn't think about it that way before. Maybe you didn't see it from that angle before. That's what the experience should be. And that's what the experience should feel like. And if it's not that, and if it doesn't feel like that, then maybe it's not a good fit. Because your relationship with your therapist is just that, a relationship. And just like how you can cultivate your life the way that you want to, and you decide how you want to feel and be treated and how you want your life to look, it's the same thing with therapy. You decide how you want that relationship to feel. You decide how you want that relationship to look. If it's not working, it's not working. You need something that works. It's no different than choosing a romantic partner or a friend. The alignment has to be there. The relationship has to work. If the relationship doesn't work, the therapy may not take. And maybe it will, but and I'm not saying your therapist made you mad because they told you the truth and now you don't want to see them no more. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay? I'm saying you really genuinely feel like you aren't growing, learning anything, learning any new skills. You're feeling like you're not gaining anything from coming there every week or however often you see that person. Then yeah, we maybe need to think about seeing somebody else, trying to see, if there's a better fit out there, if there's a better fit available to you. It's a nasty stigma around therapy and mental health in certain communities. I feel like I said, people don't want to be looked at as woo-woo. They think that you going to see a therapist, what's wrong with you? Probably the same thing that's wrong with the person that's asking you what's wrong with you, to be real. Yeah. And so while they sitting here trying to ask you what's wrong with you, they probably should be signing up with you. More than likely. Something doesn't always have to be wrong. Sometimes you could just be trying to grow. You could just be trying to reach a certain goal. You could just want something different. You could want something that you haven't seen done by anybody. And so, by you not having seen that being done by anybody, who do you have to go to ask about it? Talk about it with your therapist. Because while your therapist can't make you do anything, they can help to keep you accountable by checking in on those goals that you said you wanted to reach. They can do that. Y'all, I should have fixed my food and ate on here, to be honest, because I'm a little hungry. I usually eat at 7. And I'm going to make it through my entire segment, and then I'm going to eat. But I am a little hungry, y'all. I'm not going to lie. But next time, I'm going to have to eat with y'all, okay? See, I'm already sitting down and got the camera propped up. So I can't take y'all in there with me because then I'm going to have to find somewhere to prop y'all and all this, that, and the third. And I don't want to do all that. And there are some other things that I'm not going to tell. That's the reason why I don't want to do all that. But yeah, that's a bit much right now. So, no. We're not going to be doing that. But I just wanted to talk about people who are high functioning but could still be suffering. So, like, those people who are going to work every day, maintaining their household, checking all the boxes, all the daily boxes, all the tasks that they're supposed to be doing throughout the day, they're getting those done. They're doing them, right? And so everything appears to be fine. No one can tell that anything is wrong because you're still getting everything done the way that you need it, and everything is maintained and functioning in smooth working order the way that it always is. That does not mean nothing's going on. Excuse me, you understand what I'm saying? Doesn't mean nothing's going on. Routine and daily habits can be formed early. It can be formed in childhood. So that could just be in you to do that. That don't mean this right here is okay. That don't mean internal is okay. So it's a lot more people who should be trying to work on things that are just avoiding. And they avoid by being high functioning. And so they can say, oh, I have my stuff together. I don't need to do that. I'm not weak. I don't need to do that. Whenever people who actually try to get help, people who actually are intentional about growing, are intentional about learning, don't feel like they know everything and have all the answers all the time, those people are some of the strongest people you could ever meet. It's actually weak to be stuck in your ways and know that it's hindering you, know that it's harming you, but you still just choose to do the same things over and over and over. That's what actual weakness looks like. There's just so much of a facade. So many people wear a face because, like we were saying, with the high social media usage, everybody is putting on for the internet. Some of these people, I know, they are tired of doing the same video over and over and over, repurposing that same video to keep going viral just to keep their checks coming. I know they're sick of doing it. The ones who use the same viral song, I know they sick of the song. Like, I know they tired of doing that. But they gotta keep doing it to get that bag. And some might not be tired. Some might love it. You know what I'm saying? Might not be there everybody. Some might love it. But you just have to think, like, doing the same thing over and over and over, for some people, that would never work. That would never work. And so you have to, there's social media and then there's real life. Those people doing that over and over in that video, and they're out living their regular life. Like, outside of that, that's it. They're living their life while someone else is sitting on social media looking at them and their videos and wishing that they could have that. And I'm not saying it's anything wrong with, like, wanting more for yourself. It's nothing wrong with that, but want more for you. Like, want what you actually want, not what you see someone else have. Like, want real life to be better than social media. You know? Like, the facades have to die. The facades have to die in order for you to enjoy your real life. Everything doesn't have to be for clicks and views. Some stuff can be just for you. Just for you and your friends, or just for you and your family. And it's okay. It's nothing wrong with that. And if you are a person who just likes to share everything and you don't care about the clicks and views, likes, or anything, then still share as you please. Like, no one's telling you don't do that. Of course, do that. But just be able to recognize the difference between social media and real life. Social media is a cute, fun, entertaining place, but there's a whole world out here and there's real life that has to be lived. And sometimes social media and real life don't line up. And sometimes social media is the issue. You acting like you all right for the media, but on the inside, it's a lot going on. Go get that taken care of. You don't want to look weak, but you know you have a lot going on. Go get that taken care of. You don't want to be judged, but you know you got a lot going on. Go get that taken care of. Yeah. Yeah. You feel like nobody understands you, but you have a lot going on. Go get it taken care of. It's okay. It's okay. Because by not seeking the help, by just staying silent, by just trying to keep going, keeping on, you risk worsening the symptoms. you risk an actual crisis happening, an actual break happening, like isolation. You always not responding. Eventually, people stop calling, and so whether you believe it or not, talking about it does help. Talking to someone who can teach you some skills to cope and manage helps even more. So we covered a lot. We're at 40 minutes. We covered a lot. We covered a lot. And I don't want to leave on doom and gloom. I'm not a fan of it, okay? So I am going to give you guys some tips. Practical daily stuff that you can do to just keep your mental health up, keep yourself in high spirits, keep yourself feeling good, looking good, all the things. All the things. Excuse me, you guys. I just keep having to belch. Ugh. But excuse me. Back to the tips. Daily tips. I would say number one on my list. This is number one on my list, y'all. Sleep. I do not play about my sleep. Okay? Don't play about it. Phone goes on do not disturb, automatically set for the sleep times. Automatically set. Just do it on its own every day. Okay? We don't play about sleep over here. And we don't want to be disturbed. We do not want to be woke up until the alarm wakes us up. So do not disturb is my friend. Sleep is number one. Movement, number two. Speaking of, y'all will be seeing that on my channel. Y'all will be seeing me working out on my channel. I have so many workout videos. And so I'm thinking about doing workout videos with a mental health tip attached. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you think about that. But anyway, movement. So even if you're not a gym person, right? We can still do in-house movement. We can still go for a walk. It's cold right now, but some people like the cold. And if you don't like the cold, walk around your house inside in the heat, or go to, indoor track. Yeah. Just any sort of movement, because I don't know about you all, but me, I'm sitting down a lot for work. So going to the gym, having stairs, different things like that, taking the stairs, I'm sorry, different things like that just help give more movement instead of, sitting around letting yourself get stiff. Get you some movement in there. Nutrition. Nutrition, what you eat matters. Food is really fuel. It is so true. Even when it comes to like weight loss, it's majority of what you eat. I think it's like 85% what you eat or 80% what you eat, something like that. And then the other percentages you working out. So whereas you need the movement, you need the nutrition just as much. I'm actually just coming off the Daniel fast. I did 21 days, the 21-day Daniel fast, which I may upload some videos of my Daniel fast. I completed the 21 days, and for people who don't know what the Daniel fast is, the Daniel fast is a 21-day fast where you don't eat any meat. You don't eat any like white rice, white bread, no sugar, zero sugar, even natural sweeteners, no. So like honey, no, nothing like that. Straight vegetables, fruits, nuts, beans. That's about it. Yeah. Like it's a great cleanse. Like when I say it's a great cleanse, great detox, Yeah, it does that. I'm just coming off it. I still feel very good. I also didn't immediately like go back to eating like a bunch of sugar and different stuff like that. I'm kind of keeping it going for as long as I can. I have started back eating meat. Okay, I'm gonna eat meat. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna eat it. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I have started back eating meat, but just not like sweets, no sweets still, and no white rice, no white bread still. None of that. Also, I would say a daily habit to support your mental health is setting boundaries. We talked about boundaries a lot in the live last week. You can go back and check that out if you want to, but setting boundaries is very, very important for your mental health state. It is very important. You don't want to allow people to just do anything and get away with it with you. That's not okay. It's not okay. You have to have, everybody has limits, and so your boundaries help enforce those limits. Helps to make sure nobody's breaching that wall, nobody's breaching those limits. These are the boundaries. And people gonna always try to test you. They want to test your limits. They want to try to get in the cracks and no. Stand firm. Don't let them get in there. Keep them boundaries strong. Don't let them get in there. Don't let them penetrate your wall. You need boundaries. Boundaries protect you. Boundaries protect you. Boundaries can also protect the other person too. Yeah. We need them bad. And I will also say connection. Connection is it's a big one, y'all. It's a very big one. And however connection looks for you, because it looks different for everybody. Everybody has different comfort levels with connection, you know. Some people want to be connected all the time, like they in there all the time. And then you have other people who are okay with this kind of connection, you know. And then you got other people that are okay with this kind of connection, you know. It looks how it looks for you. It looks how it looks for you. But it is important to have some sort of connection, some sort of social relationships, even if it's with a pet. Okay? You need some sort of, because quiet is kept. Animals have been known, because it's not that quiet. Look at all the service dogs. Have been known to be very good mental health helpers, little helpers. And so that connection is very important in keeping you up, giving you those little doses of oh my God, y'all, if I wasn't trying to tell y'all, I would have been able to say it. Hold on. I done lost it. Dopamine. Those little hits of dopamine. That's what I was trying to say. Connection is good for that. Whether we realize, because I mean, you're not really gonna realize it probably, but sometimes you can feel it. But connection is good for that. I would say if we're gonna go into like emotional stuff, you know, because those are like the list I just gave, it was like daily habits that support mental health. So like daily stuff that anybody could do, everybody can do it, it's free. Nothing that I said would really cost you money unless you just wanted to spend money on it. You could do all of those things for free right now, today, and every day after. It would cost you absolutely nothing, but you would see a change in how you feel. Not saying things will be perfect. because when is anything ever perfect for real? But I am saying that, sorry, my blink, my camera, doorbell camera was going off. But yeah, I will say that that everything could be done. I lost my train of thought, but everything can be done on that list for free, and it can be done daily. But if we're gonna talk about like emotional skills, I would say naming emotions, because that is something that I notice some adults really struggle with. They when you ask them how they feel about something or how something made them feel, they'll oftentimes say, I don't know. That's really the answer. I don't know. And you do know. You just sometimes don't have the vocabulary to tell us. And so naming emotions, I think, is a great skill to have. And you can learn that in therapy. Just there's a huge word bank. And if you guys want to see a short on that, I can do a short on that. But there's a huge word bank which gives you just a bunch of names of emotions. And you learn about what each one of those is and how you feel like that shows up in your life. And so I think it's really interesting to see people learn new words to use to label their emotions. It's always very interesting to see what they choose and when they choose it. And I'm like, oh, you're using the words. But yeah, that's a good skill. Self-compassion. Self-compassion is an amazing emotional skill to have, because even me as a therapist, I sometimes struggle with being compassionate with myself, giving myself the grace that I extend so effortlessly to other people. I have the hardest time, like I was recording for a pod. I was gonna do a pod. I've been gonna do a pod. This has been like an ongoing thing for the longest, and everybody tells me I should do it one. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, because we're not doing it right now. But I was recording and I was telling my story when I was recording, and listening back to it, I was just so harsh. Like, just gave myself no empathy, no sort of understanding, grace, compassion, none of that was in the story. And then I heard myself tell other people's stories, doing the same thing, recording for that pod, and it was just, I gave them so much grace. It was, oh, well, they were this age and their brain wasn't fully developed, and they had been through this and they were raised like this. Like, I was able to like identify all the areas where grace could be extended, where empathy could be found, where you could give compassion for everybody else except for myself. And so that's something that I'm still working on. That's something that I'm still growing in. But self-compassion is a huge one. Like, it's really big. And I do feel like that's something that you should, that's a great skill to have, amazing skill to have. Because if you're gonna be able to be understanding and give everybody else grace and give everybody else empathy, you need to be able to give it to yourself. Like, that's, and it's crazy because I'm one of those people who is like, never lie to yourself. Like, if you're gonna tell anybody the truth, make sure you tell yourself the truth. And so for me to be able to tell myself the truth, but then not be able to give myself compassion in doing so, it can get ugly. Like, no, we're not gonna do that to ourselves. No. And so and one of my good friends brought that to my attention. My Kia, she's on YouTube. Y'all check her out if you get a chance. My Kia Janae is her YouTube channel. But yeah, she called it out, and I was just like, girl, never even thought about it like that. Like, I'm really just telling it from my POV. Never thought about it like that. But listening back to it, I could hear everything she was saying and how, like, somebody listening to that would hear like me lacking that compassion for myself, especially if you hear my telling of other people's stories. It's like a complete just a complete difference. um what were on emotional skills? Asking for help. Asking for help. Yes. Like, that is an emotional skill that needs to be put in the bag and be taken out of the bag to use when you need it. Ask for help. It's no shame in it. It's no shame in it. We all need help sometimes. Ask. Ask. If the answer no, then it's no. But guess what? At least you asked. You would have never knew if you didn't ask. Because the answer won't always be no. Sometimes it's going to be yeah. So ask. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So ask. Now, do I believe that there's limits to that? Yeah, I do. But that's a story for another day. Today, we on ask for that help. Okay? Ask. Ask and it shall be given. And like, if somebody come to you and ask you for help, and maybe it's not like the kind of help where you gotta physically do something, right? Maybe it's they're just not well right now and they need your help. You can show up and support them by listening to what they saying without trying to fix it. So just listen. Don't try to give advice. Don't try to problem solve. Just listen. Check in on them. Ask them how they doing, how they week went, how they day been. Just check on them. Encourage them to see a therapist if you feel like they really need to see a therapist. Encourage them to see a therapist. It's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to say it in a harsh way or anything like that. You shouldn't be saying it in a harsh way anyway. But I'm just saying, you can just, tell them, hey, I hope you don't get offended. But some of the things that you're telling me, I feel like would be better discussed with a therapist, someone who can actually teach you the skills to cope with what you're going through. Because if you yourself do not have the skills, don't try to make the skills up, please. Please don't try to make the skills up. Okay? And that is some self-awareness, just realizing when something is out of your depth. It's out of your depth, out of your competency. You're out of competency, okay? Operating outside of competency, we never want to do that. Let's not do that. So being able to encourage them, it's nothing wrong with going to therapy. If you yourself go to therapy, I go to therapy. It's nothing wrong with it. You ain't got to tell them what you talk about in therapy and what you and your therapist got going on, but you can say, I'm in therapy. It's nothing wrong with it. And so we are coming up on our hour. And so I am going to try to wrap up best way that I can. Because I do want to respect you all's time as well as my own. And so, sausage McMuffin with egg. Ooh. Plus hash browns and the coffee. The sausage McMuffin with Not TV just wanting to start talking like they was right. Had to cut that off. I had to pause, y'all. It started up. But anywho, you guys are welcome at any time, at any point, if you see this video, to leave questions or comments in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer. We did cover a lot tonight. I hope you all enjoyed it. I appreciate you tuning in, liking the live, greatly appreciate it. And I will see you all next week, Wednesday. Have a great night.